and welcome to what is probably going to be a bit of an unintentional mini documentary on my part. And that would be on the subject, the real, totally mainstream, totally not esoteric subject of cleaning mold off of 3/4-inch broadcast U-Matic videotapes. And yeah, can you tell what's wrong with that? So anyway, unfortunately, you will be seeing the wire from my lavalier dangling in the shot quite a bit. I don't own a wireless lav. But anyway, yeah, I've had this tape kicking around here for a few months now, and it's pretty gnarly. So far, I have wiped the inside and outside of the cassette itself and the case here with isopropyl alcohol because it was just filthy and who knows what was on it. But anyway, let me take my little Post-it note off here, if I can. And then one that somebody else left behind. So this was a cable access thing, and it aired on some Cablevision system in Ohio. I don't remember exactly where. And indeed, before you start yelling at me about screwing around with potentially lost media, this is already on YouTube. The original maker of it, you can see his name on there, posted it. He has unfortunately since passed away, but it is out there if you want to see it. But allegedly, if the check marks are anything to go by, this is what was broadcast over some cable access station somewhere in Ohio back around Halloween of 1989. So anyway, I guess I'll just open this up, and I should note I had this living in a Ziploc bag with a handful of silica gel packets, and I even threw a few more in here. So if nothing else, the mold hasn't gotten any worse. I can't imagine it anyway. And I keep Archive HQ pretty well controlled. But anyway, I don't know how well this is going to register on camera, but there is plenty of white stuff on the tape. And so, yeah, something needs to happen. Now, I should note that when I clean moldy tapes, it's usually VHS or Betamax, and that's common enough that I can just keep a cheaper model, standalone, separate one, and use that explicitly for cleaning tapes and, clean the unit out after each time. But when you get up into the bigger and or more esoteric formats, that's just not practical. So I had found a video online on Vimeo or something. It was not YouTube, but it was for some transfer service, and they were talking about how they handled bigger tapes, like this. And they were using seemingly a bit attached to a power drill intended to cut porcelain. So I ordered a couple of just cheap Chinese ones, and they screwed up the order. I ordered 1 1/8 inch, but they sent me 1. But that's fine because I was going to wrap it in duct tape anyway because these things are abrasive and they were intended to cut porcelain. So yeah, wrap it up and stick it in one of the hubs here and try and advance the tape. So it's not a pretty method, but I just can't think of anything else, and I don't really see any other services, certainly in the US, that do this sort of thing. So yeah, I feel like I should at least take a crack at it, and like I said, this already exists elsewhere, so if I screw it up and kill it, it's not too big a deal. It may not even be on here. This might have gotten recorded over. Somebody stuck the record button back in. I suppose I can take it out if I want to. But anyway, yes, and since we are dealing with large amounts of mold, I did grab a mask and some rubber gloves and stuff. But by the same token, we're not going to be running at high speed by design with this drill. If anything, these tapes run at 3 3/4 inches per second in a normal machine. I seriously doubt I'm going to be running it at that speed with this little setup. So it's going to take me longer than real time to do this. But yeah, I've got everything kind of ready to go. I got my screwdrivers standing by to open it up, and scissors to cut down the duct tape, and isopropyl alcohol and all that good stuff. So really the only thing left to do is go into montage mode here and hope for the best. Now, before I do that, actually, I should note that when there's this much mold on a tape, it's an automatic bake from me, because if there's this much on it, it's sticky more than likely. So it just becomes something that automatically gets baked with me. And that will have to be tomorrow. It is about 9 p.m. when I'm shooting this. So yeah, that would be an all-night bake otherwise, and I'd have to get up every 2 hours to turn the damn tape over and rotate it and all. But yeah, that's for another day. Let's see what I can do about this. Well, we have, stupid mask, one broken piece. That's going to be fun to put back. Well, I'll grab the mic here. I think we got one for the Cursed Tapes collection. So you may have seen a little bit earlier where I had a little plastic piece that had snapped off from within the tape. Well, I found it, and it's right at the tip of my finger, and it was already pretty badly bent. But now, as it turns out, to help guide the tape, I need it there. So I've super glued it back on. I don't think it's going to hold too well. But I guess really the best thing I can do right now is, it's getting late. I guess I'll just come back to this sometime tomorrow and see if I can't put this back together. And if that piece of plastic doesn't hold and I can't get this into a position where I can advance the tape at some decent pace to clean it, I may have to take one of my blanks and just sacrifice it and put it into a new shell and try and clean it there. Yeah, this is new territory to me. I'm so used to dealing with VHS and Betamax or otherwise open reel stuff. Open reel is easy. I can stick that on an old open reel tape deck, audio tape deck, and deal with that. But for something like this, it's a little more touchy. So I think I'm going to sleep on it for tonight, come back to it sometime tomorrow, and see if I don't think of anything else. But yeah, as it stands, I hate leaving this out in the open, but I just don't think I have much of a choice. I've also learned it's very sparkly mold, very festive mold. But yeah, a Halloween tape, and it's appropriately cursed. Maybe I should have saved this for October instead of trying to do this in June here. Oh well, I'm rambling. I'll pick this up tomorrow sometime. Okay, picking up the next day here, maybe closer to evening. But yes, before I called it a night last night, I did reattach the post that was broken off in the seemingly almost melted post here. But I'm not feeling all that optimistic because super glue just generally doesn't work with plastic, in my experience at least. But yes, we'll do the due diligence thing here. But I do have a backup plan of sorts, so I may wind up, this is one of my really worst stock blanks, U-Matic. This one is, as you'll see from my note here, it squeaks. So I may wind up sacrificing this particular tape and just moving the tape over to this shell and working with it there. But as it stands, yeah, I will try and put this back together. Now, unfortunately, I should note the flap, it's glued on instead of screwed on or clipped on or anything. So I was gonna remove this long enough to work on this project, but I think I'm gonna have to just hold it back. So I guess I'll take a long piece of tape and hold it all the way back from the flap to the bottom here so I don't mess up the tag. But yeah, I got a couple of options. I just don't think they're very good ones. But yes, I'll get my mask going on and my gloves and I'll try this again. Okay, maybe I will just move this over to a new shell. This is the sign of a not great tape here. So on the Cablevision cassette, you can see, hopefully, that one of the posts is just a little, probably too small for its own good. But this is how it should look, if my camera will pick it up. But right at the tip of my finger, which may or may not show up on camera, but yeah, there should be much more substantial posts for the tape to work around. So I think I am actually going to maybe temporarily, maybe permanently abandon this particular cassette, the shell that is. But yeah, it looks like my sacrificial tape is indeed truly sacrificial now. Not done yet, but I'm feeling resistance again. I've gone through a good chunk of it. Okay, I'm gonna... I hate putting this back on, but I feel like I'm gonna do worse if I take this apart. There's no evidence of anything bunched up or anything in there. This thing is super sticky, and on top of just being moldy. Well, at a distance from the mic here, you can probably see in the lid all the sparkly junk that's built up in there. Feeling some resistance there again. That was horrible. Let me open up the tape, make sure it didn't just turn into a giant wad in there. Well, I really, really, really hope I don't have to re-lube this. I really hate re-lubing video cassettes. But otherwise, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to bake this biohazard.
Issued a flash flood warning for western Lyon County in northwestern Iowa, western Sioux County in northwestern Iowa, southwestern Rock County in southwestern Minnesota, eastern Bonham County in southeastern South Dakota, northwestern Clay County in southeastern South Dakota, southeastern Hutchinson County in southeastern South Dakota, Lincoln County in southeastern South Dakota, southeastern McCook County in southeastern South Dakota, southern Minnehaha County in southeastern South Dakota, Turner County in southeastern South Dakota, Yankton County in southeastern South Dakota, until 11:30 p.m. At 7:33 p.m., Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 1 and 2 inches of rain have fallen. The expected rainfall rate is 1 to 3 inches in 1 hour. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard: flash flooding caused by thunderstorms. Source: radar. Impact: flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. Some locations that will experience flash flooding include Sioux Falls, Yankton, Kenton, Tyndall, Parker, Lewis and Clark State Recreation Area, Brandon, Harrisburg, Hartford, Lenox, Springfield, Freeman, Crooks, Garrettson, Wall Lake, Centerville, Worthing and Larchwood. Turn around. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Please report observed flooding to local emergency services or law enforcement and request they pass this information.
Too long a message, I guess. Oh well.
The National Weather Service in Sioux Falls has issued a flash flood warning for western Lyon County in northwestern Iowa, northeastern Yankton County in southeastern South Dakota, until 11 p.m. At 7:57 p.m., Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area: Dakota, Lincoln, Minnehaha, Turner, Clay and Yankton.
Alright, one tape baking later, I'm gonna just fast forward and rewind this, see how much it squeals at me. I'm not feeling terribly optimistic here, but some kind of weird ASMR, isn't it? Gotta love the sound of tape up close. Starting to get a little squealing, but nothing too horrible. Alright, nothing too awful, but I am going to open this machine up, give it a little cleaning, and then I'll bust out my transfer rig, and I'll try and take a pass at it. Something tells me this is going to be like the Perry Players tape, where I'm going to have to work on it till it clogs the heads and eventually stitch it back together on the computer. But I might be able to save this one. Fingers crossed. Apologies, I've had to go into Puka-Vision mode for this last bit because I need to be able to pan around. So anyway, here we are floating hopefully closer to the end of day number 3, and it's been kind of a train wreck. We've had 9 to 10 inches of rain in the last 60 hours or so, and just kind of every roadblock that could be thrown up in the last few days has happened. And indeed, as of my shooting this, we're under one of those water advisories where you're not supposed to, I call it a if it's yellow, let it mellow advisory. You know, don't flush your toilet too much, don't turn on a dishwasher, washing machine, limit your shower usage, that sort of thing. So anyway, enough of my going off track here. Yeah, I'm ready to take a pass at the Webzini Halloweeny Frazzini Beanie Weenie tape. Can you tell I'm getting kind of sick of this one? But yes, I am ready to take a pass at this. Hopefully I can get something resembling a total pass at the tape. And I am really anticipating a head clog or two or a pinch roller issue, so I do have cleaning supplies and a flashlight and tools and stuff at the ready. The lid is not actually attached to the machine right now, so I can just pop that right off. But anyway, otherwise my setup is, it looks more imposing than it really is. So it's U-Matic to my time-based corrector. Bear in mind, these 70s U-Matic decks have no correction of any sort, just for lack of a better term. But anyway, yes, U-Matic to time-based corrector to my little Sony transfer device thingy bobber, and that is going to my MacBook, my boot camp MacBook, so it dual boots Mac and Windows. I actually use Windows for this. And I have a composite copy of the processed video running to the PVM just for monitoring purposes, and I'll wear headphones for the audio end of things. And yes, I am well aware that, I'm using a little splitter adapter thing coming out of the FireWire device for my headphones. Yes, I realize line level does not equal headphone level. It does distort from my perspective, but once I'm done transferring, it's nice and clear. It's just so I have some idea of what's going on. And it's clear enough that I can tell when something's going wrong. But anyway, yes, I think I'm finally ready to take a pass at this. I will only turn my camera on during the transfer if something goes wrong, but I'm hoping I'm good to get through half an hour worth of this tape. And then all I'll do is just turn the camera back on briefly and close things up, and then get started on editing this more of a documentary than I intended. I was being a bit tongue-in-cheek a few days ago. But anyway, yeah, enough yakking. Let me turn off the studio lights here, grab a chair, and just get to work.
When the crypt doors creak and the tombstones quake.
Welcome! My name is Count to Clockwise.
Trick or treat! or treat. Not
Yeah, very good, boys. We're getting warmed up now. I can't wait to get into the haunted house season this year. We really need to get it done.
Just a moment.
What? Who are you?
I'm Simon Town Sinister, and your haunted house is in violation of variances, son.
Wait, variances, now wait a minute. What brought this on? I can't believe this. We've been here too long. What brought this on?
We've been here for Well, I'll tell you what, some of my zoning,
It's true. What are we gonna do?
it's him. He's come back. Well, I don't know about you, but I came prepared. Find some weapons, boys. Quick. Okay, boys, let's attack. I've been waiting for this day for 10 years. I never did like this cat anyhow. Hi there, folks. Big Boris Worthen Cemetery Sales. Come on now. We got plots, we got crypts, we got graves. We got them all. Half price this week only. Come right over here. We got here an 1837 and 1901 little dual model tombstone. My house, $15.95. This week only. Green stamps included. This little baby coming out. What you think about this, mama, right over here? We got a license. Get out of the way. There you go. Igor and me, we've been selling these all week. Now look, we got a brand new 1857 crypt stone. We got a nice stone here. Got a whole plot. Yours only $1,500. You come see me. We'll talk to you right here, old Don Weber's grave. Not Don Weber, Boris Worthington's grave sale.
Well, it's about time something went right. By some miracle, I got a full pass at the tape, and I'm thinking when I edit this, I might just splice it in between this and the previous segment instead of ending with footage. But yes, it spazzed on me in a few places, but it never did clog the machine. And the parts where the tape kind of spazzed on me seem to line up as best as I can remember with where it seized on me where when I was trying to clean mold off, which it did I think 3 times over the course of the cleaning, and then just getting it started. And in case I forgot to mention it earlier, it looked like the tape had been played about 1/3 of the way through years and years ago, whoever did it last. And so that meant a little extra work for me and a weak point in the tape that I kind of had to create, whether I wanted to or not, a weaker point, I suppose. But anyway, nonetheless, I am going to clean out the machine here. Might as well, since I got it out before it goes back on the rack there. But yeah, for all the trouble I've had in the last few days, it's about time that something actually went right. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.